Hey everybody, this is Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, and it's time for another Whiskey Short. I'm here with Scott.
Hey everybody.
And also joining us are two of our longtime supporters and guests of the podcast, Gabe.
Hello everybody again.
And the lovely Siobhan.
Hi.
And today we're going to do a quick taste on a Irish whiskey. And what's different about this is it's requested.
Yes.
And so we have never had it. Gabe and Siobhan have never had it. So
No.
It's going to be pretty exciting. And Scott's going to fill you in on a little bit more about what we're going to do.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. So this is the Sexton Irish Whiskey Solicited Quick Taste. Whiskey Short. So it was like, I don't know, 2 months ago, somebody from the marketing company for Sexton Irish Whiskey sent us an email to the whiskeytangent@gmail.com email address. You know, it was sort of a surprise. It's like, you want to send us a bottle of whiskey and we're going to review it? Yes, please.
Oh my God, we've made it.
Looks like we made it. So I emailed right back and they sent me the bottle. They actually sent us also some pours in the bottle.
We have fancy pours for it too.
Fancy pours for it.
Well, thank you. I consider myself a fancy pourer.
It almost looks like a pot still copper top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be emulating.
It's a nice color of pourer.
You're right, Gabe. It does look like a pot still. All right. So like the overview of this.
But real quick,
whiskey.
I mean, we've been featuring Irish whiskey.
Yes.
In fact, the last time we had an Irish whiskey episode with Green Spot and Redbreast, where Gabe was highlighted and given his 5-timer jacket.
Yeah, and Siobhan was here as well.
Right, and Siobhan was there for that one.
Yeah.
And then, of
Lovely
course,
jacket.
during the March Madness, we featured several Irish whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure it was our extensive delving into Irish whiskey which led them to reach out to us.
Of course.
And say,
Yeah.
Here's two guys that can appreciate a nice Irish whiskey.
Right. It definitely was not just a Google search of whiskey podcasts.
Right.
It definitely wasn't
right,
that.
Right. They didn't send 15, 20 bottles out to everybody.
Right.
They just wanted us to do it. We're
Right.
that special.
Yes.
It's such an interesting bottle. So go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go back and then talk about what we're going to do and the whiskey itself and all that good
Right.
stuff.
So just a one paragraph overview, and then I'm going to talk about the bottle because it's so awesome. This whiskey is created by Alex Thomas, one of the few female master blenders in the industry, and Ed will tell you a lot more about her later.
Yeah, she's a very interesting person.
The Sexton is made from 100% Irish malted barley, triple distilled for smoothness in copper pot stills, then aged in former Oloroso sherry casks sourced from Jerez de la Frontera. The bottle, you might have seen it on the shelves. It's very distinctive. It's a hexagonal opaque black glass, which is made to represent the hexagonal basalt rock formations known as the Giant's Causeway, which is an area of about 40,000 interlocking basalt columns existing along the northern coast of Ireland near where the whiskey is created, about 3 miles northeast of the town of Bushmills.
It's amazing.
Basalt is a common volcanic rock formed from the rapid cooling of basaltic lava exposed at or very near the surface. Although usually hexagonal in cross-section, anywhere from between 3 to 12-sided polygons have been observed. Giant's Causeway was declared a World Heritage Site in 1986 and a National Nature Reserve in 1987 and unofficially named the 4th greatest natural wonder in the United Kingdom.
Wow.
So I would imagine there are not going to be any condos built in that area.
No, they'd be very uneven. So if you've ever seen a picture of them,
I've seen them, and it's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
it's really very interesting.
Yes.
Fascinating geometrical natural formation.
So also on the label, there are a lot of skulls. So,
Really?
Yeah. The labeling is very ornate. It's like some sort of gothic steampunk kind of label. It's got gold lettering with skulls wearing top hats, both on the front and on the top of the court. The profession of the sexton is an officer of the church whose traditional duties included, among many other things, the digging of graves. In fact, the gravedigger in Hamlet, in Act 5, Scene 1, refers to himself as a sexton. You know the famous scene where Hamlet is talking to the skull. Alas,
Yorick.
poor Yorick. Yeah. The king's previous jester.
Right.
Yorick, who's
Not very funny anymore,
no,
is he?
no, it's not.
Because he's dead.
Yeah, that's the gothic steampunk of the whole thing. So the last thing I want to mention about the bottle is this really cool message that's written on the side. You actually have to turn it on its side to read it. And it says this. Up in the cold, gray, northern reaches of County Antrim, alongside St. Colum's Rill, the sexton selects the best strains of barley for malting, patiently distilled in copper pot stills to create a precious elixir. The Sexton whiskey is a smooth and flavorful single malt of intriguing complexity. Show up before dawn and you'll catch on the cool morning breeze the unmistakable oak from breathing casks. Once filled with Spanish sherry, now brimming with aqua vitae. Steal a drop, Savor the notes of rich dried fruit and complexity driven by years in a deep oak-encased slumber.
So thirsty right now.
You see, to be the Sexton is a spiritual trade, and whiskey is his favorite spirit.
Wow, my God, I want to drink
Wow.
whiskey so damn bad right now.
Quite an intro.
Oh my God.
It's on the bottle. It's
That's
fucking
like
awesome.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I so,
All right, so-
want to go dig up a grave right now.
Oh my God, I
So
know.
do you want to taste it right now, and then we'll get into the master distiller?
We certainly can. Sure.
Okay.
Stop teasing
Let's
us.
pour it
Poor,
around.
poor man.
Scott's pouring some for me in my neat glass. Oh my God, we have a faulty stopper. There it
There we
is.
go.
It's human error. It was human error. The stopper's fine. Scott error. So I will say Alex Thomas started working in the timber industry and then did 8 years at Bushmills, the oldest licensed whiskey distillery in the world. And then she moved on to become what she is in her current role, which is the master blender of Sexton. So let's see what she's created here.
All right, you're on the nose.
Cheers.
Oh,
Wow, it's very present on the nose.
My first impression, this being an Irish whiskey, it
Yeah.
did not smell like Irish. It's very dense.
to me, it smells very Scotchy. Actually,
I was going to say what you said, Scott. Like, I definitely...
It's not light and airy as a normal Irish whiskey would be.
no, it's not.
It's very dense on the nose, yes.
I am catching a little bit of scotch there, like you said. There is a bit of earthiness to it.
Yeah. So this is an Irish single malt, finished in sherry barrels, 80 proof.
That would explain the sweetness
100% malted barley. There's no age statement on the bottle, but it's at least 4 years. And on the nose, you're supposed to smell malt, cocoa, citrus, apples, sherry, angel food cake.
Apples are very prevalent to me.
Apples.
Yes,
but
same here.
not the same way with Toki or Green Spot.
Not green apples,
No.
like red apples.
Right, and you know what? It's like that apple that you've taken a bite of already,
Yep.
and you can smell
You can smell
like
the
the
flesh.
inside.
of the-
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
The essence has come off on the first bite, and it's
Yeah, it
wafting through the air.
smells delicious.
It really has a great smell to it.
Are we tasting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. The apples is really there,
My
too.
God,
on
it's
the
It
very
taste.
fruity, very floral.
Well, there's the Irish
Oh,
now.
yes.
Wow. And there's
I really like that.
Yeah, but it does have a very Scotch undertone right there.
the
This is-
finish. A little
This is terrific.
bit. It's really good. Yeah.
It's sweet, appley. It's
And you know what? It still has that bite.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's that full barley.
For being-
full barley mash.
Right.
yeah, man. I can hear what you're saying.
Not
man.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. But,
Yeah, man.
but barley for sure. Yes.
So on the palate, again, this is from Whiskey Jug. Sherry, malt,
Sure,
cocoa, toffee, strawberry jam, cinnamon, nuts, dried apricot, and mint.
I can entertain any of that except I didn't get cocoa. No, I don't really feel a lot of cinnamon. I got to try that again. But I definitely was getting the toffee and I was getting the apple.
I think the mint I can taste as I lay it on the tongue.
Yeah.
It feels like it's kind of that airy feeling that you get from a mint.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like it finishes with a
Yes.
mint.
It's like you just
Absolutely.
finished brushing your teeth and you washed out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I can see that now. It's all that.
So what
more.
led to the sherry finish? I'll tell you a little quick story. Alex Thomas completed her distilling diploma and traveled the world in search of the best cask supplier. Her original business was in timber, so she knew the different types of woods, softwoods, hardwoods, and how they could be used. So during her travel, she evidently spent some time in Spain with a church warden and became fond of the sweet sherry taste of communion wine. And that's why that
Wow.
Sexton is now aged in expertly curated first, second, and third fill Oloroso sherry casks.
Right.
So Thomas established a relationship with Antonio.
Banderas?
Yes, exactly. And they had a long relationship and several children. No, not true.
Wow.
Complete fake. The Antonio Perez Lobato family, who have over 7 years experience in Jerez,
Jerez de la Frontera.
Spain, and the casks are built to her own specifications: oak type, toast level, type of wine or sherry used, the length of time of air seasoning.
Shit, she did everything.
Yeah, she actually sources the timber from France, okay? So this is kind of interesting.
Okay.
The European oak used for the Sexton cask is sourced in France, shipped to
Jerez de la Frontera.
in Spain, and then air dried there for 16 months until it has reached the desired point of humidity needed to make the casks to her specification. And it's just really interesting as I did research on Sexton, how important the wood was and her knowledge of wood that gives her the edge that she has over other master blenders. And also interesting that her relationship with the church warden and dipping into the communion wine
Right.
led to the unique, delicious finish that has made Sexton unique among its peers.
Wood is something that you do forget quickly when you're talking about whiskey. You're always talking about the nose and what it smells like and what the mash bill is and the proofage. But the wood, that's where it's getting all its flavor from.
It really is.
Yeah. Well, not all of its flavor, but a great deal
portion,
of it.
yeah.
I would say way more than we realize.
Yeah.
One thing I have to say is after drinking it and then kind of letting it settle for like a minute or two, I get that strawberry jam sweetness.
Oh, okay.
It also comes out more on ice. The sweetness really opens up.
This is a really unique Irish whiskey.
Very unique, yeah.
I haven't tasted anything like
Completely different than a Powers.
Yep.
And it's even created at Bushmills, but she has complete autonomy in the process.
Right.
She's allowed to use their facilities and make it to her specifications.
Sure.
And that just speaks to her relationship with them. She was there for 8 years.
Right.
And it's a really nice addition. Was it like Slane's is another one that we feel like is below the radar?
Tealings and...
Tealings is starting to become a little bit above board.
Yeah. There has been an explosion of new Irish distillers after a long period being dormant.
Right. Yeah. And if you want the history of Irish whiskey expertly told to you, then go back and listen to Scott in episode 6.
Yeah.
Is that right? I just guessed.
6. Yeah, that's right. and also a little in 22.
And a little in 22.
I'd listen to them all just to make sure you get everything.
Yeah. Listen
Now,
to all
go
of
back
them.
to
Make sure you cover all your
Gabe.
Go back to episode 1 and go all the way through to
Take
episode
the week off, lay back, just
Right.
do it for yourself.
Right.
You owe it to yourself.
Listen, if we can watch Pinky Blinders over here, you guys in Ireland can listen to our podcast.
So, Gabe, what do you think about Sexton?
I thought it was good. Ed was giving the back history and the flavor, and you mentioned communion wine, and all of a sudden, me being an old altar boy,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
From a
Can we
long
really
time
go down
ago.
this road?
it's nothing that no altar boy hasn't done in the past. But I remember,
Oh, hello.
All right.
well, it's okay.
You all stole
This took a turn.
No, but we used to go in early, and before mass, we'd set up. We'd light the candles and get the cruets together with the wine and the water, and of course we'd go back to in the room behind the altar. I mean, where the priest kept his garments, and we of course would take a swig. Being the little grade school heathens that we
naughty.
all were.
Wait, how old were you?
We're talking
12?
Yeah, 12, 11,
Wow.
13.
Wow.
Mid-late grade school
Just
age.
taking a nip of communion
Right,
wine, huh?
Sure, yeah. Well, it's hey, Catholic school, you're absolved.
Are you?
There's
You're automatically forgiven?
well, we had confession once a week, so that probably came up.
Go ahead, son. I'll hear your confession. What would you say? Go ahead. What's next?
Pass the ice because of my.
Pass the ice. That's your
It's a
confession.
very informal confessional. The little wet bar in the confessional. That's how you get the younger crowd out nowadays.
If you really think about it, you want to get the pews filled up again. Maybe have something more than wine.
Yeah.
Give the parishioners an option.
An Oloroso sherry finished
Right.
Irish whiskey.
Right. If they were serving this in the pews, you'd have a packed house.
Put the options out there.
Hey,
The flock will come back. They'll be flocking. They'll be flocking back.
They'll flock back. Right.
Flock of seagulls in here.
And I ran
back to
right
church.
back to the church. I couldn't get away.
No disrespect to any of the church going people.
No, we're just having fun here. Just relax. Church going people.
Oh, what?
I don't know.
Happened? Oh,
What happened?
We're fine.
I really seriously
fine.
doubt we have a lot of church going people
Sure we do.
listening.
What do you mean? We're good, clean family fun.
Oh, how could you say that, Gabe? Of course we do. I sound like
No.
Lucky the Leprechaun.
I was going to say, now Scott just insulted the entire country of Ireland.
Green clovers.
Well, I
Orange stars.
should say the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah.
Don't get me started with the Republic of Ireland,
Oh,
the
just-
island of Ireland, and
no.
North Ireland, the country, which is
Don't-
part of Great Britain.
Don't talk about the troubles.
the British Isles. Oh my God! Because Ireland is an island, but not a country.
An island.
The Republic of Ireland is a country, and Northern Ireland is a country, and that's where Sexton is made. We all agree that it's good. We all like it?
Oh gosh, yes.
I was a little afraid that I wasn't going to like it, and then we wouldn't get sponsored by Sexton.
Well, I mean, this is the first request that we've done, and Scott and I, we had a conversation. I said, "Listen, if it tastes like garbage, we're going to say it tastes like garbage. Like,
Right.
we're not,
No, it doesn't.
You know, we
you have to
appreciate
keep
them.
your street cred, guys.
It's also why we have other people here.
Right.
It is not a typical Irish whiskey. It's very dense. It's very full.
Yes.
It's got a bit of a Scotch taste to it. It's
And it should be noted that this whiskey, even though we got it for free, I've seen it on the shelves for like $25. It is cheap.
They are entering the
Wow.
market at a very price-friendly point.
Yes.
$25 to $28, and there's no reason to not
Yeah.
try this to see if you like it at
Yeah.
that price point.
Especially if you're an Irish whiskey fan, it's a no-brainer. And it's a cool-ass bottle to
It's
have
an
on your
amazing
shelf.
Exactly.
bottle.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't just pay $25 for
I mean-
the bottle?
I mean, they
the
put a-
bottle is cool. However, I'm going to have to pose an argument here. The bottle itself, it's wide and it's angular.
Okay.
The whiskey's great,
Yeah,
believe
okay.
me, but this tends to be a burden when you want to pour it. If you're not careful, you're going to lose your grip on it.
Well, you have,
It's not your normal bottle.
maybe if you have small Donald Trump hands.
Suddenly we've taken a political turn.
You can definitely pick it up with one, but probably if you're going to pour it, you want one hand on it and one underneath.
You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Well,
me
I
see
mean, no, I don't think it's that bad.
Can I see it, please?
After a couple, though, when you're a little bit lubricated and you're a little...
It's a heavy bottle too. I'll say that. Let me
Yeah,
see when I
it's-
pour it.
This is Ed hands.
Look how
pouring.
Ed just
Okay.
all of a sudden poured more into his glass.
You know, I
Right.
definitely want some more.
Conveniently.
Yeah, so we all enjoy this. It's a very, very unique spirit. And I think that the master blender, who, by the way, worked under Colm Egan, one of Ireland's most revered distillers, when she was at Bushmills, I think he'd be really proud and probably is very proud of what she's created here. And I think she should be proud too.
Absolutely.
And I think
She
that
should be.
a lot of people in America haven't heard of this Irish whiskey.
No.
I've never heard it talked about.
No.
Which to me is just, there's nowhere to go but up. And we really appreciate them reaching out to us.
Yes.
And we wholeheartedly endorse it here. If you get a chance to try Sexton Irish whiskey, please do. It is delicious. And for the
Agreed.
Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed
I'm Scott.
with
Gabe,
And Siobhan.
saying thanks so much for listening and top of the morning to you.
Slancha.
Bye.
Later.